Maika Sakuranomiya desires to secure a part-time job to finance her dream of studying abroad. However, her constant rejection from job placements is attributed to the intimidating expression that often emerges in her eyes when she smiles. One fortuitous day, she stumbles upon Café Stile, a coffee shop managed by an Italian named Dino. Interestingly, Dino becomes enamored with Maika's menacing gaze and invites her to become the cafe's sadistic waitress. Maika, albeit with some clumsiness, successfully serves a pair of masochistic customers in this role and decides to accept the position. Along the way, she forms a friendship with Kaho Hinata, the tsundere waitress, and Mafuyu Hoshikawa, the younger sister waitress. They spend an enjoyable evening at the arcade after Maika discovers Kaho's passion for video games. The following day, Maika greets Dino with a kiss, mistakenly thinking it's a customary greeting, which results in an unexpected nosebleed from Dino. Maika decides to practice her sadistic persona and attempts to smile while serving customers, but her smile still appears sadistic. At the same time, Maika tries to communicate with an English-speaking customer. Akizuki tests the idea of female customers by having Maika and Kaho feed each other dessert, while Mafuyu and Dino engage in a dispute over a magical girl figurine that Kaho won. The Stile staff continues their seasonal tradition of determining a new menu item through a competition between two teams. Inadvertently, Maika includes salt, vinegar, and Tabasco sauce in her and Mafuyu's parfait. Surprisingly, customers embrace it as a sadistic dessert created by Maika, making it popular. After winning the competition, Maika declares her prize to be the enjoyment of spending time with her friends. In contrast, Mafuyu makes Maika dress up in a magical girl outfit that she obtained as her own prize. Maika reveals to Dino how her obsession with foreign cultures began after seeing a foreign visitor of her father's, and how it affected her childhood. Afterwards, Dino goes on a date with Maika, although Maika invites Akizuki and Kaho along thinking it's an outing for the Stile staff. Dino tries to buy Maika a present at the two's advisement, which results in Dino and Maika buying each other matching gifts. Later, a hentai doujinshi about a schoolgirl in bondage that a customer left behind causes problems for the Stile staff. They attempt to locate the owner by discreetly asking their customers about it, eventually putting up a notice about a lost self-published book. The owner responds to the notice, and to everyone's surprise, is revealed to be a young woman. The author of the doujinshi, Miu Amano, is hired as the cafe's big sister archetype. She mistakes Maika and Dino for a couple, and begins using them as a basis for her doujinshi, although she learns from Kaho that Dino's feelings are currently one-sided. Feedback from customers reveals that they want Maika to be more sadistic, so the others attempt to train her, via sadistic anime, dark and violent video games, etc. This results in Maika's persona and attire turning full dominatrix. However, she is relieved when she is told to tone it back again when serving most customers, limiting this extreme style to only those few who would want it. Post-credits, Maika unintentionally water tortures a customer while trying to provide swift refill service. It's ponytail day at the cafe, and all the staff members style their hair into ponytails. Maika encounters issues with static electricity due to her thin hair, prompting Dino to provide her with a foreign hair treatment. Later, a rainstorm prompts Dino to accompany Maika to the train station. Meanwhile, Kaho and Akizuki both lose track of time engrossed in a mobile game and inadvertently get locked in the break room by Dino. The following day, Dino is deeply concerned as Maika falls ill with a cold from getting wet in the rain. Consequently, he, Kaho, and Mafuyu decide to pay her a visit. During their visit, they have the opportunity to meet Maika's older brother and sister, Koichi and Aika, who express surprise at Maika having friends. They mistakenly assume that Dino is Maika's boyfriend, leading to an interrogation of him for information that ultimately triggers Maika's anger. Maika, Dino and Mafuyu gather by the riverbank for a barbecue, while Kaho, Miu, and Kaoyu, who would have preferred to stay indoors, are reluctantly dragged along. Maika brings a sizable tuna for the barbecue, and Dino takes charge of slicing and grilling it to ensure everyone can savor it. As the sun sets and the cafe staff returns home, Dino notices Maika's desire to visit the beach someday. The very next day, Maika and Dino embark on a shopping trip to purchase a swimsuit for her. On the subsequent day, all the cafe staff convene at the beach. Kaoyu feels a bit awkward due to Kaho's revealing bikini choice. Later, while heading out to buy some shaved ice, Maika accidentally cuts her foot, prompting Dino to provide first aid with a bandage. As the sun sets, Dino inquires if Maika had a delightful time, to which she responds with a resounding yes. Prior to opening the cafe, Kaho arrives with a noticeable tan, while Maika has a sunburn on her face. Subsequently, Dino comes up with an idea. The following day is designated as Jungle Day, and Café Stile undergoes a complete transformation. Maika feels embarrassed as she unintentionally leads customers astray in the jungle. Mafuyu dons a monkey costume, and Maika and Kaoyu observe Mu serving a customer with a banana. Later, Kaoyu becomes annoyed after getting lost and accidentally touching Kaho's breast. The next day, Dino is taken aback to discover the cafe is entirely devoid of strawberries, prompting him and Maika to make a trip to the supermarket. Regrettably, they find the strawberries are sold out, even at other stores, but elsewhere, Kaho, Mafuyu and Mu suggest to customers that they try the banana crepes and orange tart to pass the time. Eventually, Maika locates the last pack of strawberries, but inadvertently scares a little girl with her glare. Fortunately, the little girl and her mother, charmed by Dino, allow them to purchase the strawberries. On their way back, Maika regrets her glare's impact on the little girl and contemplates quitting her job. However, Dino reassures her, expressing that both he and the customers appreciate her and her gaze. Unfortunately, his enthusiasm leads to his arrest by a cop who thinks he was bothering her. Later that night, the cafe staff propose hiring another team member. The next day, a certain individual is applying for a job at Café Stile. Hidari Kanzaki is employed as the cafe's idol character, although Maika had to loan her waitress attire to Hidari since Dino lacks a specific outfit for him. Initially, the cafe staff believed Hidari to be a girl, but they were later astonished to discover that Hidari is, in fact, a boy. Hidari explained his aspiration to become an adorable idol despite his gender. The next day, upon learning of Dino's feelings for Maika, Hidari advised Dino to compliment Maika, which didn't turn out well. At closing time, Dino finally confessed his affection for Maika, albeit not quite in the way Hidari and Kaoyu had in mind. The subsequent day, Hidari met with Mu, and they visited a mall to search for a uniform for him, but they couldn't find what he was seeking. As the sun went down, Mu suggested that Hidari ask Mafuyu if she had any spare outfits. The next day, Mafuyu had Hidari dress up in a magical girl costume, even though he was reluctant to wear it at work. Later, Mafuyu and Mu had him wear a kindergarten uniform, much to Hidari's chagrin. After the credits, it's a school day, with Mu wearing a caretaker outfit and the others in kindergarten uniforms, including Hidari. This turns out to be a nightmare that Hidari was experiencing, as revealed when he wakes up. Maika discovers a large stray dog and brings it to Café Stile. Unfortunately, she can't keep the dog at home due to her siblings' dislike for dogs. She attempts to find a new owner for the dog but doesn't succeed. Eventually, Dino reluctantly agrees to care for the dog named Owner, whose intimidating gaze resembles Maika's, at least until a suitable owner can be found. However, Dino regrets his decision as he's now obligated to walk the dog in the mornings. Meanwhile, Maika decides to express her gratitude to Dino by baking sweets for him. Later, Maika's older sister, Aika, pays her a visit at work. Aika is impressed to see her sister performing well in serving customers with her unique approach. However, Aika misunderstands the situation and threatens Dino with a spear, thinking he made Maika cry. Maika clarifies that Dino was just trying to cheer her up, leading to Aika apologizing for her hasty assumptions. As Aika leaves, Maika's brother, Koichi, hides and cries for not being invited to Café Stile. Subsequently, the cafe staff notices that Dino has gained weight, only to discover that Maika is responsible for overindulging him with sweets. The following day, Dino is once again forced to walk Owner in an effort to shed the extra weight. A cafe-style customer confesses his feelings to Mafuyu. However, not only is there a significant height difference between them, but the contrast between the persona she portrays for customers and her true self is so vast that Mafuyu immediately rejects the proposition. On the other hand, Mafuyu's younger brother is concerned that she may never find a boyfriend. Meanwhile, Kaho's recent string of poor grades at school has led her mother to ban video games until she can achieve an average or higher score on a major makeup test. Mafuyu agrees to oversee Kaho's study sessions. The following day, Kaho stays up all night studying and ends up sleep-deprived. Mafuyu then gives Kaho a makeover to conceal her tired eyes. Unexpectedly, Mafuyu also gives Kaho a makeover after falling for Hidori's trick. The next day, Kaho successfully passes her test with a higher score. Mafuyu feels proud of Kaho's achievement but advises her that the next time they visit a different cafe, Kaho must study diligently to avoid failing the test again. After the credits, Kaho enjoys a black coffee while sharing with Maika that it's a flavor that reminds her of a big sister. On their day off, Dino takes Maika and Owner, the dog, to the park. The time he spends with Maika feels like a dream, but Owner develops a fondness for another dog. In the meantime, at Café Stile, Kaho is deeply saddened after accidentally erasing all her data in her favorite video game. Akizuki's usual lack of tact worsens the situation, though he attempts to comfort Kaho afterward. He prepares a strawberry parfait to lift her spirits only to discover that Kaho is already feeling better thanks to a customer who gives her a plush toy for comfort. Kaho then realizes that he made the parfait for her to enjoy next time. Later, Dino attempts to confess his feelings to Maika by cornering her, but it doesn't go as Hidori had hoped. Dino makes another attempt to corner Maika during work, but she angrily tells him to step aside, leaving him feeling dejected. After the credits, Maika, feeling remorseful for her anger, corners Dino and apologizes, making him feel better. The members of Café Stile embark on a ski trip, with Dino resolved to express his feelings to Maika. However, unexpected events unfold when Maika, freshly out of the bath, interrupts his intentions. Is Maika going to preempt Dino and declare her love for him? The following day, Kaho, Miu, and Mafuyu overhear Maika making a surprising and unexpected confession. Yet, they soon realize that Maika's confession was merely a product of her dream, in which Dino confessed his love for her. When Maika delivers her confession with her characteristic sadistic demeanor, Dino remains unaware and apologizes for his actions. Later, on Christmas Eve, the cafe staff indulges in leftover cake. Dino recounts the day Kaho and Akizuki became the first two employees hired at Café Stile, highlighting their initial nervousness, much to their chagrin. He then recalls the day Mafuyu was hired, noting that he essentially dragged her to the cafe immediately upon her alarm activation as a precaution against strangers like himself. Finally, when Maika recalls Dino's actual confession of love, she seizes the moment to declare her affection not only for Dino, but also for the entire staff.
I hope you liked the recap. If so, don't forget to subscribe and like it.